In this video, we'll be talking about some claims Teresa Giudice has been making recently.
Right, specifically about Melissa and Joe Gorga, their time on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and also these whispers about wife swap.
Yeah, the wife swap thing is interesting. But let's start with the RHONJ stuff. It sounds like Teresa really went there on her daughter Gia's podcast.
She did. Gia apparently asked her, what's one storyline on the show that was totally made up?
Okay, and Teresa's answer.
Straight to Melissa Gorga. Said something like, a lot of her storylines were fake.
Wow, just flat out.
Yeah, and then she added, yeah, hello. Like it should be completely obvious to everyone. It really implies she thinks it's undeniable that Melissa's portrayal hasn't been genuine.
And Gia didn't stop there, did she? She asked about thirstiness.
Who's the most thirsty Real Housewife of New Jersey? That was the question.
And let me guess, Melissa again.
Instantly. Teresa apparently said Melissa, and then she described Melissa and Joe attending, and this is quite a phrase, every opening of an envelope. Clearly meant to paint them as desperate for any kind of attention or fame. Very pointed.
Definitely paints a picture of perceived desperation for the spotlight. And what about Joe Gorga, her brother? Did she talk about him?
She did, yeah. A bit more, maybe cryptic. But she suggested his actions are basically driven by wanting to stay relevant on TV.
Just about staying on the show. And Gia agreed with that.
Seems so. Gia apparently said she feels Joe hasn't told the truth the entire time he's been on Real Housewives.
Wow, that's his niece saying that. And Teresa and Gia seem to be arguing that a lot of what we see from Melissa and Joe falls into that constructed category.
For sure. That seems to be their perspective, that it's about securing screen time, creating drama, perhaps.
It's interesting, though, because Teresa also talked about her own past with the show. She mentioned possibly leaving.
Yeah, that was an interesting aside. She said if her ex-husband, Joe Giudice, had asked her to leave RHONJ back then, she would have.
Really?
Yeah. And she expressed some guilt, saying she felt bad about how her world, meaning the show and the fame, impacted his situation, like his deportation.
Okay, so then this wife swap rumor came up, the Real Housewives edition.
Right. Teresa acknowledged hearing about it and hearing the rumors that Melissa and Joe might be cast.
And what's her take? Is she signing up?
Oh, definitely not. She was very clear. Said she remembered watching the original show way back when, but it's just something I would never do.
Did she say anything about them possibly doing it?
Well, she apparently added, I'm sure it'll be a good show, but the tone may be a little sarcastic.
You think? Like, good luck with that.
Could be read that way, yeah. Especially contrasting it with her firm refusal. Her co-host then apparently brought up how the original show sometimes made families appreciate the mom more.
The classic wife swap outcome.
Exactly. But Teresa's response was quick, something like, her family already appreciates her, so she doesn't need to do wife swap to prove that.
Got it. So basically, she wouldn't do it, maybe throws a little shade at the idea of them doing it, and reinforces her own family dynamic.
Seems to be the gist. It all ties back to this narrative she's building about their alleged thirst for fame versus her own values, I suppose.
So wrapping this part up, Teresa's really putting it out there. Accusations of fake storylines, thirstiness directed at Melissa and Joe, questions about Joe's motives for even being on TV.
And then casting doubt on their potential next move with wife swap while firmly positioning herself as above that kind of thing. Delilah Hamlin, Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's daughter. She posted this TikTok video, and it had a pretty serious allegation in it.
Yeah, she claimed an ex-boyfriend from like 7 years ago convinced people, including his mom, to get her put into a rehab facility.
The caption was something like, when your ex tells everyone you're crazy and gets his mom to convince people to put you in rehab. And she added that the rehab was owned by the mom's friend. And then the caption finished with, like, little does he know you're going to get out and be unstoppable and your career is going to take off.
So a real sort of reclaiming the narrative feeling there, saying, this happened, but look at me now.
Exactly. The video itself had her showing, like, a white star thing on her tongue. People were asking about it. She had clarified in the comment that it was just a mint.
Ah, okay. Good clarification.
But the main thing was the allegation. And she did confirm in the comments, yeah, this was 7 years ago, and told someone she's thriving now.
That's important context, both the timeline and her current state. It makes you think about why share this now, what prompted it.
Could be anything. Maybe feeling strong enough to talk about it. And she has been open before about health issues, right?
Yes, she has. Chronic pain. There was that incident with propranolol and Benadryl she talked about.
Right, after the Xanax prescription issue following her vaccine reaction back in 2021.
And she mentioned rehab stays before that, too, leaving one place in Arizona because of seizures, I think.
Yeah, she said she became a medical risk. So there's this history of vulnerability she's already shared.
And that, unfortunately, can sometimes be weaponized, or at least it makes accusations like the one she's making feel particularly, well, concerning if someone was trying to exert control. The detail about the rehab connection is sticky, too.
Definitely. And kind of shifting gears slightly, but staying with the family, her sister, Amelia Hamlin, posted a nude photo on Instagram.
Okay.
She was on vacation with her mom, Lisa Rinna. It was part of a photo dump, bikini pics with Lisa. And the caption was just, "I love my mom so much."
Okay. So just a different vibe entirely, coming from that side of the family at the same time. Interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah, it is. One sibling revisiting past trauma, the other sharing a vacation pics. Life in that family, I guess.
Always eventful.
Okay, next update we have about Jesse, Lally, and Michelle from the Valley. Their public dispute is continuing.
Oh, boy. The latest there.
So Jesse reacted to something Michelle said on the show. She claimed he received money from a gay guy.
What's the context for that?
Well, remember, on the show, he brought up a rumor first about Michelle supposedly getting like $1,500 to spend a night with a billionaire.
Right. I remember that exchange. It got pretty heated.
Exactly.
Right.
So her comment about the money he received seems like a direct response, kind of questioning his finances after he questioned hers.
Tit for tat, reality TV style. How did Jesse explain it?
He went on the Two T's in a podcast. He said, look, the money Michelle was maybe referring to came when their daughter Isabella was born. Said it was the gift from a friend.
A baby gift.
Yeah. And he contrasted that with the money Michelle allegedly got, saying those instances were on random days and, quote, didn't add up.
I'm trying to differentiate the circumstances. What about the gay guy part of her claim?
He addressed that too. Michelle had apparently mentioned birthday money he got from a longtime friend. Jesse clarified, yeah, this friend was at our wedding. We vacationed together. Basically implying Michelle knew the guy well and was maybe twisting the situation.
So painting it as a misrepresentation of a normal friendship, this is messy.
It really is. And then there's the accusation that he spent all their money. Michelle apparently said that.
And his response?
He denies being broke. He said their real estate business slowed down in 2023, 2024, but blames the market, suggests she's just deflecting.
Okay, could be true, of course. Real estate has been tricky.
And he also threw in that they apparently had an agreement before the season started not to talk about finances on this show.
Oh.
But he claims when he brought up other issues, she fired back with the money stuff, breaking their deal.
If that's true, it suggests the boundaries they tried to set just completely dissolved under the pressure of the show and their conflict. It's tough to watch co-parents go through that so publicly.
For sure. Okay, let's shift to some happier news. Next update we have about Kathy Wakile. Remember her from Real Housewives of New Jersey?
Yeah. Teresa and Joe Gorga's cousin. What's she up to?
Well, her daughter, Victoria Cosmides, she got married back in February 2021 to Teddy Cosmides.
Okay.
They're pregnant, expecting their first child.
Oh, that's lovely news. Good for them.
Yeah, Victoria announced it on Mother's Day on Instagram. Kathy shared it too, obviously thrilled.
That's sweet. How did she announce it?
The post had pictures of them painting a nursery wall, with baby Cosmides 25 on it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and sonogram pictures, the positive pregnancy test, the whole thing. Her caption was really touching too, something like, "Our greatest gift is on the way," and celebrating her first Mother's Day with a heart already full.
That's wonderful. A nice change of pace from some of the other stories. Just pure joy.
Totally. And just as a quick side note, people always ask if Kathy might come back to RHONJ.
Right. The speculation never ends.
But Andy Cohen apparently shut that down recently. So probably not happening, even though she did that vintage housewife thing on Watch What Happens Live last summer.
Yeah. Sounds like she's focused on family, which is great, especially with a grandbaby on the way.
Definitely. Okay, next update we have about Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House.
Mm-hmm. What's happening with her?
Well, there's a preview out for the finale, and she says something pretty surprising.
Oh, do tell.
She basically admits or suggests that she might not have stayed with her current boyfriend, Turner Kufe, if she hadn't gotten pregnant early on.
Whoa. Okay.
Huh.
That's quite an admission.
And this comes after an episode where she kind of clashed with her ex, Carl Radke.
Right, over her Instagram post about their breakup anniversary and that freedom dinner.
Exactly. Her post talked about the breakup being difficult, humiliating, and traumatic, but then also said she's happier than ever now, focused on goals, Turner, and the baby.
It was a complex post, acknowledging pain, but also emphasizing moving on, maybe even because of the breakup setting her free.
Which seemed to be the theme of her freedom dinner, too.
Yeah.
She literally said, the breakup set me free.
And how did Carl react to all this?
Well, to the post, He kind of suggested maybe she wasn't really as over it as she sounded, like maybe she was screaming something else inside.
Projecting, maybe, or maybe sensing something. Hard to say from the outside.
For sure. And then at the dinner, they apparently had an exchange about the post.
Yeah.
She thanked him again for setting me free.
Wow. Doubling down.
Yeah. And Carl's reaction apparently was sort of like noting how long and detailed the post was, implying maybe she was dwelling on it and pointing out, she's with someone else now, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Maybe questioning the timing or the sentiment of her whole reflection on the breakup.
It's just navigating a breakup is hard enough, but doing it on TV with your ex still in the picture and a new relationship and pregnancy in the mix, that's a whole other level of complicated.
No kidding. Her admission about the pregnancy potentially being the reason she stayed with Turner adds another really complex layer to her current situation, too.
Definitely. Lots to unpack there, maybe in the finale itself.
For sure. Okay, finally, next update we have about Madison LeCroy from Southern Charm.
Charleston news. What's she done?
She and her husband, Brett Randle, just bought a new house. A big one.
Oh, yeah. Still in the Charleston area.
Yeah, Daniel Island, South Carolina. It's $3.9 million.
Okay, they're upgrading. What's it like?
It sounds pretty impressive. 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, almost 5,300 square feet. Brick exterior.
Nice.
Inside, it's got like a coastal kitchen, screened-in back porch, pool house, the works.
Sounds very Southern Charm.
Totally. 3-car garage with a room above it, living room with a marble fireplace, gourmet kitchen stainless steel, quartz countertops, first floor master suite, 4 more bedrooms upstairs. And the outside space sounds amazing. That screen porch has a fireplace. Then there's the pool, hot tub, built-in kitchen, outdoor shower.
Okay, stop. You're making me jealous.
And a 600-square-foot pool house with its own fireplace, kitchenette, and bathroom.
Good grief. That's basically another house.
Pretty much. It was listed for just over $4 million in April. They got it slightly under that earlier this month.
Nice negotiation. Did they sell their old place?
Yep, they sold their previous Charleston home back in March, got $1.75 million for it.
Okay, so smooth transition there.
Seems like it. Madison put up an Instagram story showing the new place, said they're doing some work on it before they move in.
Makes sense, putting their own stamp on it. And Southern Charm is filming now, right? Season 11?
It is. So I bet we'll see this whole house buying, moving, maybe renovation process on the show.
Yeah, that seems like a given. A big life event like that. Perfect storyline fodder.
Definitely. So quite a range of updates today. We had Delilah Hamlin looking back at a difficult past experience.
Jesse and Michelle still very much in the thick of their public disagreement.
Kathy Wakile celebrating upcoming family joy.
Lindsay Hubbard making some really frank, maybe even controversial statements about her relationship.
And Madison LeCroy embarking on a big new chapter with a new home.